Now I messed up the color. I messed up the color code here, and I messed up this. Okay, so what we do is we will kind of look into this, okay, from the basics, and we see how we build this. So first, let's try doing something here. 4, 5, 6 is there. Clear is working. 1, 2, 3, it works. Clear, it works. 0. Now you see there is no dot and stuff here, right? Lots of things are missing. But let's say 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe like times 2 equals something. Oh, I messed this up. Can you imagine? Okay, so let me clear this and say maybe like 2, 3, 5 into 2. Okay, this is working. Okay, so this works. So let's check something here. 56 into 2. This works. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, this should give us an error, right? That actually something is happening here. Okay, so you can see here unexpected whatever. Okay, end of file y%. I have actually showed you this right yesterday, how you can print this, because nobody wants to look at your console, right? So we've seen this, how you can actually add another label, right, and handle this. Okay, so here for now what I can do is, okay, say this and then add to something else. Okay, and then we get that stuff. Fine, we can actually divide. Okay, before we do, we can say maybe like 2, 5 divided by 0. Okay, so it's not showing here, but it's actually there is an error here, right? Of the BMI now, we are going to build something like this. Okay, so this is done. Let's leave this for now, and we close this and we start with something. Okay, so what is it that we are going to do? We start with the project. So for now, let's say I call it simple calculator. Okay, this is there. Okay, no problem. Now here, this is the folder where I want to put this. Okay, so it will be called simple calculator. I hope you're able to follow. So I'll keep the folder here, drag this one and keep there, and let's get back here. So everybody knows now we are going to use what now? IDE, which is what? PyCharm. So what I will do, I'll say file. Now please listen, I want to create a new file, right? So I needed to create a Python file. So this, I'll call it what? Calculator. Calculator. Now you can say dash app, okay, because we turn this into an app later, okay, like exe file. So this is it. So I'll clear this console now, and then I'll maximize this. So since what we need, okay, for now this is what we have. Okay, so for now this is what is there. So what is the first step, guys? So we need to import tkinter, right? So we say import what? tk. Okay, now so what I needed to do now is I need to import all the necessary libraries which I need. Okay, so I will just say from tkinter tki, okay, import what? Star. Okay, so that I won't be going and be importing everything. So what you can actually add comments. This what? Imports all the necessary library. Okay, anything, all the libraries. Fine, libs. Okay, I'm using this for short. So after that, what did we do actually, guys? Do you remember? So we go and now do what? Now create an entry into that, right? So we always call it what? Root. So I say root. Fine. Now equals what? Tic-tac-toe. Okay, so tk. Now you can actually do a study on this. Okay, so what is this actually? So you can take help from Google. So Google, why do we actually say this? What is this tkinter object? Okay, what is this in tkinter? Okay, so in tkinter, tkinter. Remember, it is kind of a class. Okay, so what is this tkinter class? Okay, so it says the what uses a class interface and this. So what is this actually? Okay, so what did it actually do? In order to create an application, we generally create an instance of that, right? Remember, yesterday we imported that tkinter as what? TK, right? So this is that, and then we can actually create an instance of it. So it's fine. So this is done. Now what do? We now need to do something. Now we say now root dot what? Main loop, right? Because we know already we want it to be there. Okay, we don't want it to close. So main loop, no problem. So Control Shift F10. Now this is what we've seen. Okay. Now we need to add what now? We need to add a title to it, right? So we say what? Using that instance of that, we say .title. Okay, so what are we going to call it? We will call it what? Calculator, right? So for now, you see, I'm always using double quotes. So can we use single quotes? Obviously. So I'm going to use single quote now. Okay, and it's going to see it as the same thing. I'll call it calculator app. Okay, dash app, no problem. Okay, now Control Shift F10. Now we run this, so we see it's there. Okay, so what we can do, we can maximize this now. Instead of wasting time, you can see the calculator app. Okay, the title is set. Fine. So after the title is set, now what we need to do, so we remember that we need to create some stuff, okay? And you get to know why we are going to create that. So there's something we call a frame variable, because we need a frame, right, to populate here. So what we now do, we now say create a frame variable, okay? So, and this variable is always called some stuff, okay? So let's just type string var, and then we will look at it here. Can you see? It's already there, right? So what is this string var actually? So you can take help from Google and ask Google, what is this string var in what? Capital STIRNG. So you see here, see in tkinter, what is it actually? Okay, so you see here, it helps you to manage the value of the widget, such as your label or your entry, more efficiently. So it's a constructor, okay? So you see, so we call it a class, but obviously it's a constructor, okay, which we use to monitor changes in tkinter variable throughout the code. So it's similar to your what do you call it? Global variable. But don't worry, we will going to differentiate it from our global variable, in which we have to use the keyword called global. So for now, we say string var, okay, the constructor, okay, and now this string var will be like kind of a frame variable which we needed, okay. So we call it a frame constructor, okay. So it's a variable actually now. Why is it a variable? For now it is a constructor unless I assign it a value. I mean, I assign it what? To a variable, right? So I'll assign this to a variable called what? Maybe like I needed it to handle all the inputs, right? So I say, okay, fine. Now it has changed its what? Behavior from being a constructor now to a frame variable, okay? Fine. Remember, it was what? Initially what? Initially, it was a constructor. Fine? Fine. Okay? Fine. So this is done. Now, once we have this now, we now needed something, okay, which we are going to reference later, okay? So we call it a global variable, okay? So we will use this actually, okay? So this global variable, for now, we will call it a name. So please remember, this is a frame variable. So we needed a global variable that will be able to do something for us. So maybe like we wanted to perform. Please listen now. It's always good for you to name it something that will be meaningful, right? So it is an operator, okay? So initially this operator will not have any value, okay? So it is an empty. So for now, this we are going to use as what? To be used as my global variable. So I'll keep it here. And now I think I explained this in the class, okay, in between. To be used, what is a global variable? So it's like I will not say it's actually a static variable because, sorry, final variable, in the sense because final variable you cannot modify it. But let's think of this. Let's ask this guy, what is a global variable in tkinter? Okay. So what exactly is it? So you see here, it is in the outermost program, just as this and things like that. So why do we use it actually? Okay. So this can be accessed by other blocks, right? Obviously. So in other words, it's defined outside of a function, and we can access it inside a function. Fine. So that's why we needed this, because we're going to have functions, obviously. And if you remember programming creating some applications, you will notice in between we always do what now? We create functions, right? Which we have to call at a particular time. Fine. So what did we do? Now we have this now. Let's go. If you say this Control Shift F10, nothing happens. Okay, it's still how it is. So let's create our entry widget, right? So we say next, create an entry widget. Okay. Okay. Fine. So we are going to create this now. And remember one thing, guys. We needed what do you call it? An entry, right? We saw that yesterday, right? Entry is different from a button because it's kind of what where it's similar to a what? Text box, right? It is what? Similar to a text box, right? Similar to a text box. Fine. So what I will do, I think I should keep this by the side so that we'll be seeing that, right? So Control Shift F10. And I'll tell you what we want to create. We want to create this text box. Can you see inside here where things is blinking? So 9 just came up there. Okay, we want to create something like this. Okay, so this is what we want to create. So for now, this border is created. Everything is border is created. Now let's start adding things into it, right? So yeah, we get back here, and it's similar to a text box. So what do we call it? Is an entry widget. So ENTRY. Okay, so this entry widget has to go where? We saw that yesterday, root, right? So for now, let me stop here, okay? Let me stop here for now, and let me go and assign it as what? Maybe a text variable, okay? So we call it something like that. Maybe we need to display some stuff. So we say text, okay? We need to display something, okay? Okay, underscore whatever, display. Okay, okay, this is done. Now, if I press Control Shift F10 now, so you see it's not there actually. So can you tell me why it's not there? Can anybody guess why it's not there? I'm looking at the chat box. Okay, because we created this, but we need to use now what? Remember yesterday we saw the pack geometry, right? So what we can do is, see here, we say text, okay, underscore display dot pack, PACK, okay. Now, it will appear, but we know the demerits of this pack, right? Right? So you see, it's appearing there, right? See, it's appearing here. But you see the problem here. And if you click inside here, you can actually type anything. But what we wanted was, we want to kind of position it. Like if you look at this final product, okay, we see we have to position some stuff, right? 1, 2, 3, whatever, whatever. So pack will not work. So we are going to use what now? Grid, right? So instead of that, we say grid. Now, if you are going to use grid, now let me press this now and see, okay? So you see here, it's there, okay? It's there, but it's looking so tiny again. So if I maximize, you see it's there, grid, okay? Fine. But we need to make it look, I mean, like a grid, right or no? Fine. Okay, so in this case now, we remember something here that in this root, please listen, okay? In this root, okay, let's work with this grid. So let's let the grid to cover some screen. So if you look at this, we understood the concept of spanning yesterday. Sorry, I closed that guy. So I'm going to keep this here. Okay, sorry, not that one. Here, Control Shift F10. So you see, please listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That means there are, see, how many rows are here? Let's start with first row, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, right? So look at the first row, right? So this first row, how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to say column span equals what? 4. Inside where? Grid method. So we go back here and we say, okay, fine. This is where we are and this is where we are. And grid, we are going to say what now? Oh, sorry, column. And you can see the column span, SPAN, so equal what? 4, okay? So if we say this 4, you just refresh and then you see what happens. Okay, it's coming, but still, we did not see any changes, right? Yes. So let's now go and work on this, okay? So in this route now, we can kind of do something here, right? So what is it that we want it to take? Okay, this will take a couple of arguments. So one, we can actually pass is what? Your text variable. There's something we call text variable. Actually, it's there. Text, T-E-X-T, T-E-X-T variable, V-A-R-I-B, variable. Okay. So this text variable, we want the what? Input string, text inputs to be passed into this. Okay. So that means we want to assign text input to this variable called text variable. So we say text underscore that. Fine. Now, It might not look like what we wanted, no problem. So let's now go and make this more meaningful. We know we saw yesterday, right, the use of font, right? So what we did yesterday was we said font equal Arial or something like that. We did, okay? So we used that yesterday. And you can actually use small a. Let me see if it is case insensitive. Okay, and then when we did this, you see it's becoming bigger, right? Little. So let me type something inside here. So you see, okay, it's becoming bigger now. Fine. So if I maximize, still, it's still taking that shape, no problem. Now, what we need to do is we need to add other arguments to this now, okay, or other parameters to this. So instead of that now, we said we can actually add what? The font face. We can actually add the font size, okay. So maybe the font size will be 15. We can actually add the font type. Okay, sorry. This is the font type, right, Arial? So this is it. What do we call bold, italize, underline? I think, okay, you got the point, right? So whether I want to make it bold, I want to make it italize or underline, I don't know what that is called. Is it called font face? I don't know. Font face is this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is the font size. And then you wanted it to be bold or something like that, okay? Okay. Now, if you look here, please listen. We do this now, and you see, sorry, it says invalid syntax. Okay, just go down here. Always check text underscore display dot grid call span equals 4 on line 13. Okay, so what did I do wrong now? Okay, dot grid, yes, no problem. Okay. So it says here, yes, actually, okay, because this is on this text display, right, guys? Can you see it? So what I should have done is, let's say dot grid now. Okay. Now it says expected. Okay, root dot main loop. What happened here? Okay. It says this one. What is the error? Invalid. Root dot main loop. Why is this invalid? Okay, so okay, let me see a couple of things here. So this is fine and this is fine. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we have done this phase. Obviously, the problem is, look here, I opened this, right? I did not close it, so it's looking for where it is closed. I did not close it, so I close it here. So this should work. Okay, fine, good. Okay, so always, like, you know, check whatever you are doing to avoid having issues. So you see the text is now bolded. Yes or no, guys? It's bolded, right? So see, it's bolded. So we are there. Now we needed to do something now. If you watch, you see this looks like something that was padded, right? It looks like some padding was added. So what I'm going to do, I said, okay, fine. This I got, all right? So I can actually do something now. I can actually pad some stuff, okay? So now, if I needed the padding, what I can do is, there's something I will call width, insert width, okay? So it's going to look, let's insert this and see how it will look like first, okay? So if I say insert width, width equal, I guess it is, yes, is that. So maybe we set it to some size. Let's see the effect of this. Okay, it's not, okay, it's not that, okay? Let me try something else. Then I will need to say, okay, fine, the border, right, that will pad this guy, okay? Let me say the border that will pad this will be something else. So I will say border is called BD, okay, BD. Now, so this border, okay, I'll set it to something. Let me see, okay, set it to some big number and just rerun this. Fine. So you can see, guys, so yeah, this actually came, right? And you see how it's looking, right? So, yeah. So now when I type, you can actually see this. Fine. So this is done. Okay, this is done. So I think this color actually makes sense, guys. Yes or no? This color makes sense. Fine. So in case if you wanted a different color, you can actually add that. It's called background. So we say BG. So now you will have to choose now, right? So remember, it is some hexadecimal value. So let's go and choose some color picker. What do you call that? It's called color palette. So sorry, I might be pronouncing it wrongly. So we come here, we say, okay, some color palette or something like that. Okay, guys, you have to choose. Okay, you have to decide on the color which you wanted. So for me, I think I will leave it like that for now. That makes sense. But in case, let's add some color and see the effect. Okay, guys. So let me add this color. And if I come here, I wanted some shades of blue. I'll copy this. Now I've copied this, and then I'm going to paste it there. Okay, Control Shift F10, rerun this. So yeah, okay, this is what I got. Okay, so I have this color now. Okay, fine, take care. So feel free to change it later. So we are done with this now. Okay, so now we go and start creating buttons. Okay, so next we're going to do what now? Create buttons, buttons. And in case, because I want you guys to do a very nice app, calculator app also after this class. Okay, so let's look at calculator. So if you see here, actually nobody tries to beautify. See, they try to keep it simple, right? Hence I'm going to change this color back, right? I don't want this. I just want to show you that this is a possibility. So I don't need this. Okay, I want to keep it simple. All right, so it's going to look like this now. So fine. Okay, this is more better actually. Okay, so what you see is this, like you have placement, right? Forget all these super functions now. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 7, 8, 9x. Okay, then you have 4, 5, 6 minus, then you have 1, 2, 3 this, and then you have 0. Okay, somehow. But what we ended up creating was something like this. Okay, so I keep them side by side, so the header is taken care of. So let's do 7, 8, 9 plus. Agreed? Fine. Don't forget we have spanned this into 4 columns, so no problem. So I now need 7, 8, 9 plus. So what I will do, I will go back here now and start creating buttons. Fine. So my buttons will, we say, okay, let's create buttons. Okay. So which one is the first one now? 7, 8, 9, right? So you can make it brief. Say button underscore 7, button 7. Okay. So this button is going to be what? Button only, button. Fine. Now this button goes inside the button constructor. Now goes inside root first. Fine. If it's going inside root, please listen. I don't need a font face now, so I'm just going to use only font. Sorry, I don't need a font color. Okay. So I will just put the same thing. And if you look here, what I will do to make it faster for us, I will copy this, right? This is what we needed, right? Fine. I Control C this. Now Control V this. Okay. Now Control Shift F10. Fine. Okay. It's not there. Yes, obviously, because I need to do what now? Say dot grid. Agreed. Fine. So I will now say now here dot grid. Now you remember now that this grid has to go into a place. Let me just show you something here. If you come here, you see the button is here, right? But no value, nothing. Okay. So by default, what is the position? It's actually going to take the first row and the first column, right? Yes. So for now, we need to make it, fix it in a particular location so that it becomes easy for us. The first row with the, first column, no problem. So we can call it row 0, column 0. So for that, I needed this button to have some attributes, right? So this button doesn't have anything. We say is 7, right? And let's fix the position for now. Okay. So we add this now into, what are we going to add now? We say what now? Row and column. So I prefer to use row first before column. Okay. Row equals 1, and I'm going to say column equals 1. Fine. Now I will press the same thing now, F10, no problem. It's still there. Okay, it's still there, but remember, since we said call span, right, guys? So it's trying to fix itself at a central location, but we are going to add other buttons as well. So this is done. So I think what I will do, the face is done, and it is going to be bolded, something like that. So we need to say text, right? Text is going to be what now? Whatever we want to appear inside there. So it is a number, and this number should be appearing as a string for now. So we say text equals what? 7. Okay, fine. So it's a string, fine. And then next, what we have to do is what? We don't need any background, right? We decided now not to add any background. Okay, and then we have added this grid, and let's see where it is going to be now. Okay, so yes, so we've seen it is here. Okay, fine, guys, it's there. Okay. So now, if you notice something, we will leave this and we come back to this data. So this is done. So what we do is we take this now, Control C, Control V, Control C, right? So Control V, Control V, Control Z. So I press Enter there. Okay. I don't know where this guy is going. Okay, yeah. So that you can see the screen. Control V, Control V. Now, if you run this for now, there won't be any problem, but you're going to see only one button, right? See, 7 is there, only one button is there. Why? You know the reason. The reason is, even if you change this, please listen, say 8, 7, 8, 9, and what? Button. Now, please look here now. So what I want to do now is, whenever I come to anything that has to take a method, like addition here, right? So I have to change this button, like button underscore add. So it becomes easy for me to reference. Okay, add. Fine. Now, if you run this now, okay, let's see the ones in 7. So we change this to 8. We change this to 9. We change this to add. Okay. Now, even if we say Control Shift F10, you obviously guessed it's not going to appear. Only what appears was the last one. Okay. So where were the other ones? They're actually here, but we have to now adjust their positions, right? So instead of saying row 1, column 1, this one will be now on the same row, right? Column 0, column 1, column 2, and then, sorry, column 2, and then column 3. Fine. So Control Shift F10. Now we run this. So you see, right? So we are seeing the 7, 8, 9, and plus. Okay. Now what we do to make this easy, because even I also will get confused in between now, you can kind of demarcate this, right? So this first placement is done. So go place other ones first, right? So you can call this first layer, right? Create buttons, we call it layer 1 of how many? 4. Why layer 1 of 4? You go back here, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Create buttons, something like this. So I'm going to copy here. Okay. Till here. Control C. Please don't forget your main loop, right? Always keep it down. Fine. Control V. Okay. So this is this. Now I'm going to do what now? I'm going to say create buttons layer 2 of 4. Okay. Now enter. Create buttons layer 3 of 4. Enter. Create buttons layer 4 of 4. Okay. So layer 4 of 4. Then 3 of 4. 2 of 4 and 1 of 4. Now this is done. So if you look at this guy now, what are you going to get? You're going to get 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So this is button 4, 5, 6 what? Okay, sorry, you can see, but I believe you know what I'm talking about, right? So here 4, 5, 6 minus 1, 2, 3 star. Okay, 4, 5, 6 minus 1, 2, 3 star. So this is button 4. Sorry, button 4, button 5, button 6. Okay, what was that actually? It was called multiplication. Sorry, negative, and then the other one is multiplication. So this is button sub. Okay, so this will be button multiplication. Okay, so and this guy actually is going like this: 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now the last one, the last layer is something funny, right? The last layer is 0, clear, equal, and division. 0, clear, equal, and division. This one, 0, clear, equal, and division, right? Fine. So button 0. Okay. Okay. So button. Now we want this clear, right? So we can say clear. Okay. So the next is button, because we say button equal, and then the last one is going to be called what? Button division. Okay, fine. All right, even if you run this now, you won't get any problem, but still nothing is there apart from 7, 8, 9 plus. Obviously, this is because it's there, but you have not positioned them properly. So let's go and do something here now. Let's go and add some stuff, text, say for 5, 6, and then this guy is what? Sub. Now come down. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then the last one is multiplication, right? Fine. So we say mul. Fine. All right. So the last one is going to be 0. Right. So the difference one is button clear. You can actually type clear, but it's going to be too big, right? CLEAR. You can actually call that, okay? But you can use C, okay? So that you remember, since we are adding all that as one character, right? So to accommodate for the whole thing. And then this is division. Okay. All right. Now we come back here and we say division. But fine. Okay. So even if you run this now, again, we will see here. Now what happened is the latest whatever button we've added, right? The widgets. That is what is going to be there. Okay. And for now, you see it's no longer appearing here, right? It's no longer appearing here because obviously we have not mapped it, right, to that grid. All right, no problem. So let's get back here now. So we are done with what? Row 1, right? So what we do now is we go and change this to what? Row 2, row 2, row 2, and this also row 2. Fine. Okay, so this becomes row 3 as we know. All right, so row 3, 3, 3, and 3. Fine. Okay, the last one has to become row 4, obviously, right? So we say row 4, row 4, 4, and 4. Fine. All right, so let's get back there, Control Shift F10. Now you see, okay? But if you look at this and look at this guy, it's so funny, right? See, this is like, what type of Bicari calculator is this, right? Right? So nothing is displaying for now, but still, we ended up placing this. But it's like HTML without CSS, okay? So no behavior also, no JavaScript also. So fine. Only if I type inside this text box. See, it's so funny. If I type inside the text box, it's taken. But it's not taking it from this, right? It's not taking it from the button. Agreed. But whereas this one takes, okay? So this clear works. Okay. So let's work on the skeleton, okay? We are what now? Front-end developers. So let's work on the GUI. Fine? Okay. So what we do now is simple calculator take care. So we remember there's something we did here, right? We padded this. Yes or no? So we're going to go back now and start padding all these guys. Okay. So what we do, we said, okay, fine. In this button 7, right? So we have added the text. We have added the font. We made it bold. All right. And then we pass it to the root. So what did we do there? If you remember here, we said insert with and we did border. All right. Okay. So do you remember? So we are going to copy these two to make it uniform, right? So I'll copy this, insert with and border, right? So Control C. Now already there is comma, right? So no need of comma. I just press Control V. That is fine. So I can actually test this out and see. Oh, insert with WITDH, insert with equal 5. BD equal 1 minute. It says unknown whatever, insert with. Okay. Okay, actually I'm seeing this for the first time. It worked in the previous case, right? After bold. Okay, maybe I should position it before this text. Let me see. Okay, so what I will do, I will just cut this out from here. Control X, okay? Then get back here and just paste it here, okay? Because that is how I inserted it here, right? Okay, and then I did this, whatever, and then I put comma here, okay? And then that grid, let me see if this works, okay? Okay, insert with, okay, I don't know why this is not working now. Is there any error in the spelling? INSERT, it works here, okay? It should actually work here. Okay, so text is 7, no problem. And then I think, okay. So what I will do is, I think, okay, sorry, please. Sorry, exactly, guys. So it's not going to accept it as a buttons, obviously. In the entry widget, okay, it actually accepted it. So it's not a method in this, an attribute or a parameter in button. So this is fine. So I think what will happen now is, let's see, border should be able to do the work for us. I will press this. Yes. Okay. So if you see here now, okay, this button is looking funny, right? You know why it's looking funny? We need to apply the same to others, right? So we need to apply the same to others. Let's just do that and see what happens. Okay. So to make it a little faster for me, I will just say here, okay, I will just come here, Control V. That works. Then come here, Control V, this works. And try to, if there's any other empty spaces, I'll try to remove them to avoid confusion later. Okay, so it becomes easy, fine. I can actually trace them till here is fine. Maybe give little space here so I'll be able to follow if anything goes wrong, right? So usually I'm looking at their behavior. I want all of them to look alike. So till here is fine, and I need to just press this here, fine. Okay. Now I got double of that. Now I press this, F10. Okay. So you see, I'm able to get it here, right? But, it's too much, right, guys? Can you see? It's too much, okay? So what I can actually do here is, you see it, guys? I use 25 and it's too much, okay? So let's try to reduce this. because if you look here, it's working, but see, this looks cool, right, guys? So you see, it's actually adding so much to the border. See, that's crazy. So I think what works that time was 8. So, and if this works, I'm going to populate the rest with 8 and come back here. I say 8. Okay, and come back here. I say 8. Okay, Control Shift F10. Rerun this. Fine. Okay. Okay, this looks like what we are looking for. Okay, guys, it looks like it. So what I will do, the same thing only, I will just say BD like that. So BD equal 8. So I copy this now, I think. Okay, now come back here before the text. I will say, okay, fine, there. Okay. Now I'm removing this. Okay, take out that empty space. Do the same thing here. All right. And then, okay, fine, this works. So you see, positioning this to look like whatever we've seen is little difficult actually, right? So we need to play with it and then come up with something that works best, right? So let's see. And let's see actually the behavior of these two. Rerun this. Okay, so this is coming, fine. Now, if you notice one thing, it looks like, okay, I'm doing the wrong thing actually, because I padded this, fine, but it's like, it's not like this, guys. Yes, so it's similar, but it's not like this actually. So that means that I need to look for something else. Okay, so let's look at all the attributes that are in what. So what are we using? We are using border, right? So let's look at what button methods. So we come here and we search for button. Sorry, button, button methods in tkinter, right? So if you see, okay, here we look for here, okay, so the button, you can actually take border with pixels. There's something I'm looking for. Yes, padding. Look here. Okay, additional padding left and right of the text. Pad Y, additional padding above and below of that. So this is going to give some behavior from border, right? Default is 2. So let's try that actually and see if that is going to give us the stuff. I hope you're able to follow, right? So because of that, now I am going to remove this. Okay, sorry about that. It's not giving me what I wanted, right, guys? So I will say now, I will say paddx. Fine. So paddx, I think what worked that time was some value. I think it was double that. And then I'll say comma. If this works, I'm going to copy paste. Okay, I'll say now pad y, p-a-d-y, pad y equals 16. Fine. I'll do this. Let's see what happens. Fine. Yes. So if you see, right, okay, this looks like it. This looks like it, but am I missing out something? Yes. So I think that border also should be there. You see, guys. So I will leave this. I will say, okay, fine. Border was actually there. So I will leave the border there. I will say border was 8. And then go back here. I say, okay, fine. Yes. Okay. So this is actually maybe, yeah, closer to this. Yeah, now you can see, right? Forget the color. Okay. So this is what we are looking for. So I'm going to copy this now and replace it wherever I have populated some stuff. Okay. So I'll come back here and I say, okay, fine. This is what I needed. 1, 2, 3, right? So Ctrl C. Fine. I have it here. So I'm going to override this, right? Ctrl V. That is done. Override this guy. Ctrl V. That is done. Override this also. Ctrl V. That is done. Now go here. Ctrl V. Done. Come back there. Sorry. Ctrl V. Get back here. Ctrl V. Okay. And then this one. So I have to do it in all, right? Ctrl V. Okay. Then here we need to add, right? We are keeping text at the last. Ctrl V and put comma there. Fine. So because of this now, I have to copy from comma till there. Okay. So I copy from this comma till here. Ctrl C. Now come back here. Ctrl V space. Here. Ctrl V space. There. Ctrl V space. Fine. So let's see if anything has gone wrong actually. Yeah. Okay, guys. Can you see? So it's like that. Okay. So the last one we have to pad now, right? So we go and pad the last one here, right? So Ctrl V space here, Ctrl V space there, Ctrl V space here, right here. Okay, Control V space. Okay, let's see now. Control Shift F10. Good. So we are here. Okay, but if you notice now, nothing still appears inside our text, right, guys? Fine. So we needed to now take the action from the button, okay, and transfer it into our entry widget, right? So this is what we've done. Okay, till here is fine. Okay, guys. Yeah, and then we have done all the buttons. We have created all the necessary things now. No problem. Now we go up and then see what exactly happens in this entry widget. So here, what are we doing actually? Go up in the text display. Where is my text display? Fine. Entry, it takes this, no problem, and it takes, okay, fine, and the font, it has taken everything there, no worries. So now you see this operator actually, we have to now map it, right? So we have this. So I think I try to keep it this way in this order. Okay, Control X, fine. Okay, and then I'll keep it here, no problem. Fine. Now we notice one thing, that we really need to map this, right, to kind of an action. Yes. So we go up now and define a method actually. Okay. So remember now we have to now define methods, okay, or functions. So we now say lastly, okay. Okay, next, I will not say lastly, okay. Next, define the functions. So which functions do we want actually? We want the functions that will do something, right? So, excuse me. So if you notice now, we need, whenever we click this button, right, something should happen here, right? Instead of me typing here, as in the other case, as in this case, right? So whenever I run this and I click something, it's mapping it here, right? So that's why we are using this global variable. So what we do now is we say, okay, fine. I need a button, so I can call it def. Okay, I need an action to happen. Sorry, when I click some button, I'll say def. I call it button click. Fine, CLICK. So whenever I click this button, all these numbers, right, should be mapped. You can call it numbers, anything. Okay. So now, since it is a method, I will say, okay, fine, enter. Okay. What will I do? Remember that operator, right? This operator we are using, we call it now global operator. Okay. So we say global, this operator. We needed this, right? Now, once we got this, what are we going to do? We say this operator, we will add it to something, will be equal to what? Operator. Okay. Now, operator, now we add it to whatever we have inside the string, right? Remember what we've seen is a textual stuff, which is in form of a string. So the numbers which we have, okay, is in form of what? String. str. Fine. So we concatenate it to this, okay, whatever we got here. Fine. Then after this, now we have to map it to what? What are we using? Text input, right? See here, text input, right? Because it takes this text variable is what? Text input, which is the string variable. So we're now going to say, okay, fine, we have to map it to this. Okay, so we say text underscore input, right? So dot set method. We used that yesterday, right? So now in this, what are we setting actually? We are setting this what? Global operator. Fine. Now let's see the effect of this. Okay. Now if I say this, oh, okay, fine, okay, no problem. So I think this guy has not worked yet, so I need to link this guy up there. Okay. So when I click this, it's not working. So let me go back here for the first one. The button click is done. And I'll check once again here. This is what we are creating. So this is it. Fine. So no problem till here, right? No worries. Okay. So the same thing here. So what we do is check indentation problem in Barala. Okay. Done. We go back here and see if we missed out anything. Okay. So in the buttons, let's see. Okay. Okay. So in the buttons now, what are we going to do? Let's investigate this button properly. Yes. So you see here, guys, there is something we are missing out, right? Please look here. Can somebody remember what you are missing out? Whenever I click this, the method is defined, but the method is not called. Look here. We defined this method or function definition, right? Function is defined, but it's never called. So how do we call this? That is the magic of your what? Lambda operator, okay? Or your lambda function, okay? So actually it's that lambda function only. We are going to use this now lambda, okay, guys? So, and what we want to do, see, I'm going to add it here. So I will say, once I call this now, what I need to do, I need to say command, as we've seen yesterday. A command should be equal to what? Button click, right? btn, okay, that's underscore click. No worries, fine. But let me use this now. Let me just run this before we use lambda operator. Okay, missing one position argument. Yes. So now look here, guys. Text, right? It has to take a number. Okay. But this number, if we say 7, just watch, guys. Control Shift F10. Now 7 is there waiting for us. This is not what we wanted. Okay. We want whenever we click that number should become the present number, and at the end of it, it should reset it to be what? An empty number, right? Which is passed into this global operator, right? So we cannot prefix like this. So this is a problem. That means we remove this now, and now we know, look here, Control Shift F10. Okay. Now if I click 7, it's not coming, and it says missing one argument, numbers. So because of this, now we're going to use what? Lambda. Okay. So you remember how we created those text boxes that held the alphabets, right, from A to Z? Same thing. So we're going to say command now. This command, once we call it, okay, we're going to say is equal to what? Lambda, LAMB, fine. Now lambda goes like this, lambda colon, right? So it's going to say button what? Clicked, right? So fine. So once we say, okay, button click, all right, so obviously we now need to say now, okay, fine, we want this button actually to be there when we call this. It's fine. Okay. Now if this works actually, let's try and see. Control Shift F10. Now if I click this, now you see 7 has appeared. Okay, guys. So it was not like initially, you know, where we just only did that and then 7 was there. So let me click. Okay, click. So 7 is there, no problem. Fine. Okay. So this is working. So what I will do, I'll Control C this. Okay. Guys, please just wait for another 15 minutes. I will wind up at a stretch. Please remember, we lost out enough time. Okay. Don't just come for attendance, guys. Fine. So Control V. So this is what? For what? 8, right, guys? So I'll say, okay, this is 8. Fine. And then we go here, and then we have to do the same thing. Comma. We say Control V. This is for 9. And then we go back here. We say Control V. This is 10. Fine. Oh, sorry, not 10. It is what? Guys, what is it? It is plus, right? Fine. So now look here, we have to make this as a string because it is what? Operator. Fine. So let's hold down Control Shift F10, run this. Okay. And then let's see here, 7, 8, 9 plus 9, 8, 7. This is working. The rest are not working for now. So we know this works. So we go and populate it here. Control V, then change it to what? 4. Come down. Control V, change it to what? 5. Okay, come down. Control V, change it to what? 6. Okay, and then we go down, we say Control V. We change it to what now? What was that? Negation, right? So again, it's a string. So we say this. Fine. Okay, negation. Fine. Control Shift F10. This must have worked by now. Let's go there. Let's start 4, 5, 6. Minus, plus, this, that, fine. So this is working. Let's go and complete the rest. Okay. So we come here now. This is what we had, right? I think after text only I'm adding. Fine. So this is 1. So I'll say here is 1. Okay. Then this guy is something else. I say this is 2. This is something else. I say that is 3. Okay, and the last one is something else, and that is star or multiplication sign. No problem. So we continue. We're almost done, guys. Just hang in there. So this is 0. And then this is C, actually. Please, guys, don't get confused and go and add it into the grid, okay? The grid geometry. Don't do that. Fine. Even if you do, you can always trace it back, no problem. So this is C, so it's going to be a string. Capital C is what we used. And then this is equal sign, so we're going to say fine, and that is equal sign. Okay, equal. And then the last one is division. So we say Control V. And that's going to be what? Division. Fine. So we say division. Fine. Now Control Shift F10. Let's see if all of them are working. 0 works, this works, that works, that works, this works, that works, that works, that works. Now you see another problem now has come, right? Okay, clear is not working, right? Please look here, clear is not working, right? So let's say we want to clear this, okay? So what we do, let's implement this method now, right? So remember, methods are always done here only, okay, before you call them. So we call it def what? We call it now what? You can call anything, reset or clear button, fine. So I prefer to call it CLR, okay, clear button, BTN, okay? Now, this clear button, I want whenever I call this, right, something should happen. Okay, so I'm going to use my global operator, no worries. Now, and then, I need to set this back to empty, right? So equals null, fine. Now, after this now also, I need to set the text box also to empty, right? So what is that called? Text underscore inputs, right? So dot what now? Set. So I will set it back to what? Empty, okay? Now, Control Shift F10, obviously it is there, but we have to now assign it to a place, right? This is clear. So we come here to this button, right? So this button, which is clear, okay, I have to remove this lambda operation now, guys. Do you remember? So, and now make sure that I'm only calling, I'm not calling what? Button click, rather I'm calling what? Button clear. Are you with me? Fine. So we go inside there now, okay? And then I'm not going to use lambda operation here, guys. So what I will just use is I'll say command equal what? Button clear, okay? So I will just call it BTN. Okay, sorry, it's called clear, right? CLER, clear underscore button. Okay, so we are not taking any arguments, so this should work. Let's see here, Control Shift F10. Let's add something here and let's go and clear. It works. Add something here and let's go and clear. It works. Okay, fine. So this is working. Next, what we have to do now is let's make this now to do something, right? See, when we said something like this, Control Shift F10. We said 878 plus 2. Okay, 7 plus 3. This should give us 90. Equal. Nothing is happening. Equal. We don't want equal to be printed. We want equal to perform an equality operation. Okay. So, because here is printing equal, they say what type of calculator is this? So, that means we need to create another function, right? So, we call it function, what do you call that now? Evaluate function. Okay. So if I'm going to evaluate function, okay, I can call it def. I prefer to call it maybe evaluate function, okay, something like that. Eval button, BTN, okay. So this button should perform some stuff, okay, sorry, colon, right. So I'm going to perform something now, okay. So first thing, what I will do, I will say, okay, fine, global, same thing, I'm going to use operator, no worries, okay. Now, I would say maybe like, okay, I want it to perform some stuff. I call it evaluation, or you can call it anything. So this evaluation, now please look here, guys. I don't know if you came across this eval operator. Okay, so this is going to work an operator, and I will show you one thing here, operator. Fine, and we know for sure that actually what we are going to accept is a string, right? Okay, so we are going to get a string, fine. And let's look at this. Okay, what does eval do in Python? So eval, EVAL in Python. Okay. So you see here. So this is a built-in function used in Python, passes the expression and evaluates whatever. Okay. So it knows that if I needed something to be addition to be performed, right, it should actually do that, right? And for that, see, I have to use global. Can you see? Specified available global methods in that. So example. So I needed to perform all these operations. So initially I'm taking this and we use inputs, right? No problem. But once we call this now, right, it says, okay, fine, enter the value of x, enter this or something like that. So the value of x is this. So x into is going to evaluate this, irrespective of whether it is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I hope you're able to follow, guys. So if we don't use this, we need to go and start creating each of the methods. Addition, multiplication, whatever, subtraction, division, including parentheses also. So since we entered the value of 3, it evaluated it and it gave us 60. So that means eval will account for, this accounts for all the operations. Accounts for all the arithmetic operations, for all operations, okay? not only arithmetic. Fine. So we are not done yet. Okay. So if this works now, that means this is going to work on my text inputs, right? Text inputs. Now we say, okay, dot what? Set. So what are we going to pass inside it? We're going to pass evaluation. So evaluation. Fine. Now, after this is done, right, we need to set the operator back to empty null. So we say operator is set back to what? Null. Fine. Okay. So if we run this now, nothing is going to happen, right? So we need to now go and assign it, okay, to where it's called equals button, right? So we don't need this now, okay? We don't need this. So we come back here. We say, okay, fine. I will take this guy out, okay? So on click of this button, okay, the equals button, guys, pay attention. So on click of the equal button, what should happen? Even I don't know what should happen. You know what should happen by now, right? So we should say eval. What was the name of that? Eval button should be called. Okay. So eval method, please, should be called. Okay. And since we are not passing any arguments, you should only determine how many arguments that we have passed. So this is fine. Let's press Ctrl Shift F10 and then run this. So let's do something now. 98 plus 2. We know it's going to be 100, and this works. Okay. So we say again 89. Okay. 896 times what? Maybe times 10. It's going to give me 8,900. 8,000. Sorry. Is it times? I did something. I think I did addition. So 920 into 10. Okay. Correct. 9,000 that. Okay. So once I click on this, it's working. So let's do something. 56 divided by 3. I'm getting some floating point number. This you can handle later. Okay. Let's say I'll do 80 divided by 0. So this we have not handled. It's an exception, division by 0 exception. And I showed you how to handle this yesterday, right? So clear this. So every function is working. Minus 8 is going to give me 8. Sorry, minus 80 is going to give me 18. No problem. So everything is working here, right? So the last thing we want to do, what else we have to do? I think that's it for now. Okay, guys, that's it for now. So I literally like this interface. So no need to colorize it. Okay, if you want, you can colorize it. So maybe I didn't use this plus 90, whatever. Okay, okay. Now see here. This is an error. Invalid token, right? A number cannot start with 0. So we should handle this later. Guys, are you with me? However, if I do this, it says invalid token, right? That number cannot start with that. But if I do this now, check all possibilities, guys, because this is going to be an evolving project, okay? We keep working on it and we see what happens. So this is fine. Now, let's turn this into an executable file in just one line of code. Okay, guys? So, so far, we have successfully built our simple whatever, a calculator, okay? Now, we now go and do one thing now. Go and save this now in a location, okay? So let me come down here. I think I want to use this simple calculator, okay? And I want to put it here, guys. Please pay attention. I want to put it here, okay? Okay, so for now, I will go back here, okay? And remember what we did yesterday, guys, that before you do that, you need to download an icon. And we already know, we saw that yesterday that we downloaded an icon, so I will just copy the icon from here. Yeah, this is bmi.ico, okay? So you can also now, you might think, sir, okay, must it be only ICO? No, you can also use PNG, no problem. So I pasted it here. So yesterday it was a lengthy process, right? So yeah, it was a lengthy process. And now I found the kind of a shorter way to do this. So this is the icon which we want to appear when we do that stuff. So now I want to save this inside that folder. So I'll say File, Save As. Now I need to go to desktop, right, guys? So I browse. I will come to desktop. I called it. What did I call it? I even forgotten. On the desktop, what did I call it? Okay, who knows? Okay, go back. Where do I want to save it? Window D. It's called Simple Calculator, sorry. So Simple Calc. So browse this guy back. On the desktop is called S. Oh no. Where is Simple Calc? Okay, here. Please look here. Okay, inside here. I'll click on OK, and I call it calculator-app.py. Fine. So this is done. So I think I'm done with this now. So I can minimize this for now. Come inside here. This is what I have, right? Okay, good. So please look here, guys. From here now, I need to use one thing, very important. Okay, let me clear all this stuff, clear all this, and then drag this open. Now, if you notice here, we have not used something which we call terminal. Look here, we are in run. To do is also there. Problem is also there. Problem bar rotate, it's there. Terminal is what we are going to use, terminal window, okay? So this terminal window is what I need, and I need something which you call auto.py.exe. I'm going to copy this, okay? Auto.py.exe. So let me show you what it is actually. So you come here, you just type auto.py. It says convert automatically auto.py to exe, right? So it's there. Now look here. It says, look here, it is what? It is to whatever, and you can actually see the whatever. So okay, a py to exe converter using simple graphic user interface by installer in Python. So you can actually download this, or you can do pip install. So auto py to exe, that is what is called, and it is officially from what? Python documentation. So you're going to get something here. To get started, install this using this. So you say pip install auto.py.exe. That's all we need. And after that, you run it. Okay? Only two lines of code. Or pip install auto.py.exe. So you can copy it if you are lazy like me. Okay? Now, what I need to do, I will just say Ctrl V should work here. Yeah. Pip install auto.py.exe, whatever. Enter. Okay? Now it says requirement already satisfied because I have done this. Okay, so in case you've not done it, right, you have to install this. After that is installed, what you do is you don't need to do pip install, right? You just say auto.py.exe, right? So done, press enter. Now you're going to present you with a GUI. Fine. So it's loading. Now fine. Let me minimize everything and leave this one here. Okay. So now please pay attention here. It says select script location, browse. So you know why I showed you the hardware yesterday. If you want to feel like, wow, you're a professional, right? So you can do that. But this is the simplest way. So it's called simple calculator. This is what we wanted, right? So we select this, open. Now we have selected that. Now look here. You wanted one file. Remember yesterday we did something -w-f-i, right? Fine. One file, window-based application, one file. So this is window-based application, one file, and then we wanted an icon. So you wanted in that one directory. So everything is in one directory, right? Or you can choose one file, but we wanted it in one directory. Now, we don't want console-based application. Please listen, guys. We don't want to be running this again as a console-based application. We want window-based application, okay? Now, I need to select this. Okay, this icon.ico file. It says select. Now you see why I said you have to use .ico, right? Fine. Because if you downloaded .png, it's going to mess up now. So we come back here. It's called this bmi.ico. That was what I called it yesterday. Fine. Now, additional files. Please look here. You can add other files. You can add other folders. This works best when you have multi-projects, right? That you have divided them into what? Folders. Except maybe you are working on package-based stuff. So let me maximize the screen so you see what we are doing. Now, for now, I don't need this. I'll hide this. Now, look here. Advanced tab is going to be of value if really you're going to run into errors later. Okay, so this as developers or something, you might actually add some stuff that will happen. Maybe trigger an event or something like that when something goes wrong. So this comes in handy in this case. So for now, we don't need this. We are not even advanced for now. Now, settings. Pay attention to this settings tab now. So settings says, look here. Where is the output directory, right? So here is going to go on to my, 50 days of challenge, something Tic-tac project and stuff like that. But I want it to be on the desktop, right? Where I call simple calculator, right? I want it on the desktop, simple calculator. I want to see it here. So I selected that folder. Fine. Enable recursion and whatnot. This is fine. Just click on convert py to exe. That's all. Now you see everything will happen within seconds. Okay. Done. Look up building some stuff and things like that. Okay. So now you should see something finally successful. Okay. So you see here info building exe from this.talk suddenly successful, right? Fine. So table of contents talk, I think that is what it is. Something like that is completed. Everything complete. So you can actually open this output window now. Okay. So I clicked on that to open this. Or what I will do is something went wrong with this, read this on how to fix issues. So in case you also feel free to read this, okay, when using the auto-exec, whatever, because there'll be some issues also that will happen. Okay. So let's minimize this. And now if you come here, okay, this was let me close everything. You remember yesterday also the same thing we saw, right, when we ran it from the command prompt. It's the same thing, only we are seeing here. Can you see? This is the BMI whatever. Okay, this is actually the icon thing, and this was it. And now it gave us clean folders, 2 folders, right? So one is called the PyCache folder, which contains something.pyc. Another one is called the calculator app. Okay, so inside this calculator app, you should see an exe file. Oh, where is my exe file? Okay, sad. Where is my exe file? Okay, go back. It should actually be here. Oh. Where is the exe file? I can't find it. What happened? Maybe I'll repeat this again. But this is actually what you should do, okay? Once you do this, you should be able to see that actually. You should be able to see that. Okay, I will repeat this and then we wind up, okay? I can't find my exe file here. What happened? Because in the other case, I think one folder is missing. If I go back to this BMI project thing and then I think I called it YouTube videos, BMI project, something like that I saw here. I was actually looking for BMI generator. Then I should see the exe file. See here, guys, I did this today, right? So you can see the time. So this actually should be there. Maybe what I will do, I will just run this once again. Pay attention, guys. I will close this, okay? I will run this back again. I think I should take it from the folder itself, okay? So since the requirement is already satisfied, I'm going to do this, fine. And then I will take it from here only. This is fine, choose the path. Yep, okay. This is what I call it, calculator. This is the py. This is the simple calculator thing. I will open this, no worries. I wanted a window base, obviously. I wanted one directory, no doubt about it. I wanted an icon. I have to choose my icon. That is done. I didn't tamper with these guys. I left them optional only. I left them optional settings. I left optional. So maybe I think, yes, I think I should look for this output directory. Let me leave it there. Okay, so we have to go back to Tic-tac projects. Okay, guys, don't forget Tic-tac projects GUI and then look for this folder called output. Okay, maybe, but that was not the case. But let's see. Okay, look for this folder called output, Tic-tac project GUI master folder. Okay, sorry, called output. Fine. Oh my God. I messed this up now. I just want to leave the folder as a default folder. You got my point? I'm going to do this again. I want the folder to be a default folder. Okay. Okay, moderators, give them attendance. Some of them are already complaining. So here, this is fine. Okay, done. One directory, console window. Okay, this hides the console. No, that's not what I did. Console or window, I think I did this, that was right. Window user simple calculator app or something like that. That was what I did actually. And then I went into this icon thing. I chose the icon and that was it. And then I went to settings. I'm going to leave this as default. I'll just click on convert. Okay, so it should be done. There was no error actually here. Okay, resource, this, that, collected, checking this, completed successfully. Let me open this output window. Actually, it should open from here also. But anyway, we know where it is, right? So actually, it's opened here, right? It's opened here, the output window. So if I come here, where is this? Yes, see here, please, guys. Look here, guys. Can you now see it? It's called calculator app.exe. I think it was there actually, but because I was looking for a different icon, I think it was there. Am I getting older? Let's see. Oh, sorry guys, it's here. Can you imagine? It's here. Look here, guys. It's here. What confused me was I was looking for the what? The app, the same icon, sorry, which I used yesterday. Please look here, it's here. So I double click on this, and you see my calculator has come. Please listen, guys. Whatever, sorry I kept you for longer, okay? Actually, what happened when I did this also, I outputted it here, right? It was there, but I got confused with the icon. So it's called calculator app.what? py. Look here. So to avoid this confusion now, I'm going to close this so you think maybe I'm running it from here and I'm just confusing you guys, right? So let me copy this now, Control-C, and just go and paste it on the desktop, Control-V. So we have successfully built our first exe file. So this you have handed over to the client. So the client double clicks on this. Sorry, you should send it as a zip file. Sorry, I obviously send it as a zip file. Is here, whatever. Okay, so this is it. Look here. So I did not run this again from my what do you call it? Python IDE. Okay, so I will say 89 into 2 equals something. That works. Clear. That works. 56 minus 6. That works. Okay, say divided, okay, maybe like I say 21 divided by 3. Okay, this also works. Fine, cool. Okay, so on this note, I want to thank you so much, guys, for listening.